Escape the dungeon!
Hello, everybody. This is Escape the Dungeon, the podcast where we ask you to join us as we explore the world beyond the world's oldest role-playing game. My name is Mike Cripps, and I will be your master of ceremonies, and I am joined by four mystifying players. Zach Brass.
Hello.
Dom Brass.
Hey.
Nate Brass.
What's up, Internet? I am Nate. Hi.
And Tyler Knittle.
Howdy.
Each season, we will be playing a different tabletop role-playing game. This season, we are playing Urban Shadows 2nd Edition, a Powered by the Apocalypse game published by Magpie Games. But maybe we're going to play a little bit of something else, too, on top of that. A little teaser.
What?
But before we get to that, before we talk about that, there was some news, you guys. Breaking news from like 4 weeks previously from when this episode came out. I just want to get your take on something, because I'm seeing a lot of discourse on the internet. You guys heard about discourse? You know, everybody's got an opinion.
I've never heard of that.
So you guys may have heard that a new video game console was announced, the Nintendo Switch 2. And
sure did.
Nintendo did a little direct video thing where they talked about the console and the games and everything. And the big thing that everybody wants to talk about right now is that the new Mario Kart game is going to be $80.
Blame the tariffs.
And people seem super mad about that.
Huh.
And I guess I just want to ask you guys, what should a video game cost in your opinion?
I mean, look, the true answer is less, but the capitalism answer is I'm surprised it took this long. Like, video games, the video game price market has been pretty stable. Like, video games have always cost between like 40 and $70, like forever.
Mm-hmm. I feel like a new game has cost $60 for like most of my life.
Well, let's consider a few things. So nowadays it's mostly digital, right? You just download the game onto your console or computer. So there's no like physical copy production that you need to do. So that's a big
But the cost
slash.
of making games has gone up.
It has gone up.
But
like, also you
to
need to
make that
consider-
game, it costs a lot more.
What we need to consider in
Yeah,
reality,
but it shouldn't. It's below.
Hold on, I got a point here. What we need to consider as consumers is your cost to entertainment time ratio. For example, I've been playing Roller Coaster Tycoon since I was like 8. I paid like $10 for that shit. Good value. All you motherfuckers playing Grand Theft Auto Online, you bought that game for what? Like $70, $80? And you're still playing that shit like a decade later. Good value. But if you drop like, I don't know, 70 on a piece of shit that you can beat in like 16 hours, fuck that. That's a $40 game. Indie games are longer. Come on.
I guess like my thought is when I was watching that Nintendo Direct and they're like $80 Mario Kart, I was like, okay, sure. Like that. No other thought popped into my head, but people are really mad about this. Would you guys, not necessarily for Mario Kart, but just like a game that you are looking forward to, is 80 too much? Would you guys be willing to spend that?
I'm probably not buying a new game at $80, to be honest. I'm probably waiting for it to go on sale now.
It just depends, right? Like, I don't know. Probably not. I usually wait anyway.
Would you be boycotting the studio? Would you be?
No.
No.
I don't really
Gathering
care
your torches and pitchforks.
Usually when they try to do weird capitalism stuff, sometimes it's kind of cringe. Sometimes it's like, it's a skin. I don't care. What's the big deal? I don't understand.
Yeah. No, most of the time when people are freaking out about something like the price of a skin, I'm just like, yeah, but guys, you just don't have to use the skin.
Yeah, it's a stupid skin. I don't
I mean,
care.
and I get it. It sort of sucks the idea that, like, you know, $80 could become the norm for a new video game release because, you know, now it feels a lot when you're spending $60 on a video game. In your head, you're like, I'm spending like around $50 on a video game. When you're spending $80, suddenly it's a lot closer to like $100 a game. Like,
I can't remember if I've brought this up on the show before. I mean, for all I remember, we might have done like a full 10-minute banter about this. But where I live in Chicago, a cheese pizza will cost you about $20. So like 4 pizzas for a video game, like that seems roughly the right conversion
I mean, a pizza
rate.
feeds you for like 2 meals. A good video game could give you a couple hundred hours of fun.
I think it's that standardized price tag of the new $60 game is $80 now.
exactly.
And I think that for some people in that like market, it's just going to be an issue. But I don't really buy a ton of I'll get like the Souls games and stuff. But otherwise, it's like, oh, there's a free game. I'll get that because it's free. And, you know.
Thank you, Game Pass.
To give the boycotters like some respect here. I mean, there are things that I do have a hard line about. I will not pay more than this for this type of product. Like I will not pay more than like $17 for a hamburger. You know what I mean?
$17 for a hamburger?
Oh, believe me.
Oh my God. What kind of I mean, yeah, I guess you live in Chicago.
There are places that have like
That's not even crazy. It costs like $17 for a Five Guys burger now.
Pro tip, you don't need to spend more than $40 on a bottle of wine.
Pro tip, you don't need to spend more than $20 on a bottle of wine.
Yeah, but 40's
You can
like
get some good
40's the cream of the crop for value.
No, you can get some decent wine though for a reasonable price.
I just don't buy wine because it tastes like dirt and metal, and that is my opinion.
Shut up.
It tastes like juice.
The first time I ever had a glass of red wine, and I'm sure it was like not good red wine, I was like, this tastes like pennies. And that is what all wine tastes like to me now.
Maybe you were just like, wine is blood, and you made the connection. It's like iron.
Subliminal messaging. Did you happen to be in a church? Was this communion wine? Like,
no, it was.
Yeah, it was shitty wine.
Did you drink it off the floor in episode 23?
It was a bottle of wine that a friend had brought to like a BYOB restaurant. Like, I don't know what the brand or anything was, but it was a bottle of wine a person I thought had good taste willingly purchased.
Well, just remember that, you might have been drinking the Bud Light of red wine.
Probably, yeah, but you guys want to know a little bit about what I was teasing at the top of the show?
Oh yeah, enlighten us.
What are you roping us into without permission?
So I wasn't sure if I wanted to bring this up before the like recap theme music or not, because it is directly related to our campaign. But I think now, before we get into the meat of the game, is a better time to talk about this. So where we ended last week's episode was a cliffhanger about an NPC, Nigel, being murdered, and you don't know who did it. And like, obviously, I'm setting up this murder mystery arc for the campaign.
We're gonna play Clue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you queuing us up for some Clue?
Yeah, exactly.
Colonel Mustard in the drawing room.
I kind of wanted to talk about how you guys prefer to handle this sort of mystery in a role-playing game, because there's a couple different ways to go about it. You know, particularly because this is a homebrew game that I'm running. This is not a module, you know, with a pre-written series of events. And in homebrew, I tend to not finalize things until they come out of my mouth. So, like, as far as I'm concerned right now, the murderer, it could be anybody or anything. You know, I do not necessarily have set in stone, this is the character that killed Nigel.
I was not expecting to hear this on there.
Well, like, I just want to be honest with you guys about what my process is for GMing. Like, I have an idea of, like, who I think as of right now did this, but like over the course of play, if you guys present ideas or theories, if like over the course of improving I come up with like an interesting clue, that might change my thought process about like the entire thing. So it's very in flux. It is my general GMing style. But if that is like unsatisfying to you guys, if you guys feel that this is the kind of story beat that should be set in stone so that you guys can better investigate, better role play about it, that's something I'm willing to do. I'm willing to lock that in right now. But there's also another alternative that I want to throw out here. There's another Powered by the Apocalypse game that is called Apocalypse Keys. And this is a game I thought about doing for the, you know, main campaign for this show. But ultimately, it's not thematically a game that I think I would enjoy GMing long term, but it's got some interesting stuff to it. Apocalypse Keys you can think of as like the Hellboy RPG. You know, it's got some similar Urban Shadows DNA. You know, you play as mystical creatures, magical beings, monsters, but it's about investigating crimes to stop an apocalypse type event. And there's some interesting mechanics specifically about discovering clues in what that game calls keys. And like, you cannot, by the rules of that game, solve the crime, solve the mystery until you have discovered a certain number of keys, which you earn by doing the game's moves and whatnot. So it takes the idea of a mystery and it inherently gamifies it. You cannot solve it until you have done the steps of the game. It's not just role-playing and discovering. It's you have to do the moves to get the points, to unlock the thing, so on and so forth.
So what you're saying is you want us to solve this murder by playing this system briefly.
Gotcha.
Not fully converting
Not fully,
to
but
that
adopting
system.
but adopting the gameplay a little bit into
a little bit, yes, because Powered by the Apocalypse games are very customizable. You know, we've talked about creating, custom moves in this campaign, this would sort of be like doing that. But I could also see how that might be unsatisfying from a roleplay perspective of feeling like you have to jump through gameplay hoops to solve a narrative problem. So I just wanted to, say all that, throw out all these options, and hear what your guys' thoughts about gamifying this particular kind of story is.
I mean, I'm always a fan of gamifying different things.
I'm wondering how we can keep things inside the Urban Shadows system, and then additional custom moves for things that may not exactly fit into what we're trying to do. Because like with an investigation, you look for physical evidence and testimony, right? Mm-hmm. And testimony is something that you can basically do in any role-playing game, hopefully, if you made it right.
If you understand.
It's the RP and RPG, right? Mm-hmm. But in terms of uncovering and interpreting physical evidence, there may be a little bit of a gap there in terms of what Urban Shadows is capable of accomplishing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say Urban Shadows doesn't have any built-in things that are specifically about discovering clues as part of a mystery, But that is something that this Apocalypse Keys game is built upon.
I think if you think that the Apocalypse Keys rules, throwing some stuff into this game will help, keep us on track and, figure out how to do a mystery well-paced. Yeah, that sounds fun. I feel like that's a big part of Powered by the Apocalypse is, taking the games, mixing them together, and coming with something new.
Yeah, I do like that it lets us kind of flex that and see how we adapt to just mixing and matching these games.
Yeah,
that's kind of a cool.
If Apocalypse Keys were not and Powered by the Apocalypse game, I wouldn't suggest it. I might have come up with something similar on my own as a custom move, but the fact that they do have the same bones, the same structure, there are things that will need to be tweaked. They don't use the same ability scores or whatever, but it would be simple enough to adapt to Urban Shadows. If gamifying an investigation to that extent is something that you guys think sounds fun, I totally want to leave this up to you guys about what you think sounds most interesting and how you feel you would enjoy approaching an investigation style gameplay.
Well, let's try it out and see how we feel.
I feel like I'm more heavily leaning towards RP, but I don't know how much this would gamify it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair.
Because it's still Powered by the Apocalypse, which tends to be more RP focused. And then it's big moment happens. All right, now you roll.
Let's put it this way, because, there's nuances to this Apocalypse Keys game that I don't think it's really necessary to get into. But the simplest way I could put it is, let's say that you guys will not be able to actually solve the crime, solve who murdered Nigel and why, until you have gotten 5 capital C clues. That's the kind of gamifying we're talking about.
I'm willing to try it. Personally, I lean towards more regular RP, but I'm fine with trying it, to be honest. It's whatever. Doesn't matter that much to me.
If it's a matter of finding 5 key pieces of evidence, I think we might just be able to do that in Urban Shadows.
I think it'd be cool just to try, since you brought it up, and just to try mix and matching the system. But, it's very much with the RP and the general storytelling, I do think it's always good to play it by ear, but I think it's good if we can get it wrong or something. And if we have a system to keep track of clues, that's cool and fun to use, all the better. So I think it's cool if you saw something that you want to try. I think there's definitely stuff that we can just do and it's easy enough. But like, you know, I don't know. I'm down to try it.
I'll do some more reading through Apocalypse Keys, refresh myself on the specifics, and we'll put together like a subsystem, like a game within Urban Shadows for the potential murder investigation of one Nigel.
Previously on Urban Shadows. After everything that Bobby, Ezra, Cris, and Dale have been through, the gang deserved some downtime. But it wasn't all rest and relaxation. Bobby worked with Hector to produce some art for the marketing firm, and spent some time with Aunt Evie. Ezra worked with his sister Cassie on Sylvester Stallone's newest TV show. Cris forcibly separated from Celeste, distracted herself by looking into Agent Ryan Arizona, and Dale crashed an old man's wedding in order to get a ghost exorcised from his body. 2 months later, while watching the news, the group learns that Chris's boss Nigel, the head of the powers that be, has been murdered.
But before we get to that, I was thinking over the last few days since we recorded that I do want to do a 2-month time skip, but I want to give you guys a little bit more opportunity than what we talked about last week's episode to establish the things that you were doing. You guys would have been able to do more than just those individual activities during this 2-month period.
It would have been a long episode. I get it.
It would have been, and it was, which is why I want to give you each an opportunity to do 2 more really quick things during that 2 months. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this. That might not even be moves or roles associated with this, but I just want to give you guys another chance to talk about the other things you were doing during this time period. Who wants to go first?
I will say Ezra totally would have been like, hey, you want to help me catch some, I don't know, ghosts or gremlins or something on the set of a TV show to Dale? Because I bet Dale's got the best surveillance equipment.
Yeah, so because Ezra, your role on that was not a success. You were not able to solve that problem that the Vegas Prince TV show has been dealing with. But yeah, maybe Dale could help you out.
You want to check out a famous TV show? I could introduce you to my buddy Sylvester.
You mean the Sly Stallone? Wowzers.
Yeah, I mean, we're practically best friends now. So
really,
I've got his personal cell phone number and everything. And you know what? He even texts me back.
That's incredible. You're actually worth something.
Is that something Dale wants to spend some time with?
You gonna help me out, buddy?
Yeah, I'll help you out. Of course I'll help you out. Did you not hear how excited I was to meet Sylvester Stallone?
Dale, I would like you to, let's call that A roll with spirit. I think this is close to letting it out, but not quite. As you are, that's what you roll with your kit stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So roll with spirit.
That's a 7.
A 7 is a success, with some consequences. But I think what happens here is, Ezra, you bring in Dale when you and Cassie were not able to solve the problems on set. He sets up some surveillance equipment, like you said, and you do in fact discover that there are these little critters, little like furry, green-skinned, like 2 foot tall little guys.
I knew
that
it.
Are coming in like in the middle of the night, and they're just trashing the place, and they're moving stuff around. And you are confident, Ezra, that these are in fact gremlins. And with Dale's help, with Dale's surveillance, you are then able to successfully resolve this problem, eliminate the gremlins from set. This will count as both an activity for you and for Dale. But here's what the consequence is. During this time when you were doing this, Ezra, Cassie stops reporting to work.
Oh, fuck.
Dun, dun, dun.
So that's one of the things that Ezra and Dale have been doing. How about Cris? Is there anything that you've got an idea about?
Cris would be trying to make sure first that they can establish a way to contact Celeste and figure out where they are.
Yeah, I mean, this is not going to be, I think, even like a role for you. You are definitely able to contact Celeste. You are able to text her and call her. Visits to her are supervised by Nigel and or Adrian during these 2 months. And you are not allowed a ton of time with her, but you are permitted to see her about like once a week. She seems like she's doing mostly okay, not particularly happy with the arrangement, but she is being kept, safe and comfortable physically. She's not in any danger, set up in Nigel's penthouse.
Okay. And then I think I would spend like the rest of my time researching all about this like summoning, who would know about it, like
the summoning of Beelzebub.
Find out any.
Okay,
yes.
Very good. Give me a roll with mind for that.
I rolled an 8.
An 8. Okay, so again, that's a success, with some consequences. You are able to consult your sanctum. You've got this huge library in there. You are able to spend, weeks really delving into that and getting a sense of the kind of magic that the Sons of Earthly Filth were using. You find details about the sacrifice ritual that they used to transform Moose into that avatar of Beelzebub. The consequence here is that I think this is really occult, sinister stuff. And if this is something that you do want to really understand, I think you're going to need to mark corruption, because this is just knowledge that people shouldn't have.
You son of a bitch. Fine. I corrupt out for the second time.
Oh no!
Oof.
Oh, only the second time. You'll
Yeah,
you're
don't be a
fine.
baby.
So choose your corruption advancement. And yeah, you are able to really come to an understanding of this, demonic magic that was being used. And it is not something that should be done. You don't think that there's any immediate danger left from what has been done. Obviously, Moose is still out there as, fly form, but your new understanding is that he is going to be significantly weakened, and it will take time for him to recover and become, full strength avatar of Beelzebub once more.
His whole faction's dead too. It's just him.
Yeah, he doesn't have those resources to fall back on, which is going to make it even harder. But if left unchecked, that is something that will eventually happen. And Cris, if this is the kind of power that you do want to call upon yourself down the line, you now have enough understanding and resources that might be a possibility for you.
Oh, Cris gonna go the one that actually corrupts out in the end and summons more demons and evil shit.
Spoilers. You don't know that.
Yeah, that checks out.
Bobby,
That checks out.
you've been spending time with Hector and your aunt. What else have you got going on?
So I want to start a viral marketing campaign. I'm going to post a bunch of stuff on Instagram, on a burner smartphone that I got. I'm going to figure that out. I can do that in the streets. Okay. And, basically I'm going to make a bunch of tags, and it's going to be a guy in a suit with devil horns bleeding a bunch of blue blood, and then a bunch of claws holding a sword, like a big furry claw holding a
werewolf claw.
No, a fiery no, not like a werewolf, actually. Like a fiery claw.
Okay.
Like a fiery demon hand holding a sword. And I'm just making these tags all over the city, and I'm just pushing it out on social media. And I also want to go somewhere, and I want to buy a sword.
When you're doing this, are you posting these under your own name or under a pseudonym?
Under a pseudonym, for sure.
And what would that pseudonym be?
The Beast 69420.
Yeah, basically, I just was
That's
wondering
too
if
that's too post-ironic.
Trying to do this as the Beast or not.
Probably not. That seems too on the nose. I figure, Arizona can figure, he can figure it out. I feel like it's clear enough. I'll play with the format a bit, but
he's more of a Beast sympathizer than
I think the message will get out there. I don't think I need to call it the Beast, but it might be Super Beast Fan 55555.
I see what you're going for. Mostly because I think it's ironic. I'd like you to make a roll with heart for that.
And ironically, I'm not very good at that. That's an 11. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Ooh.
Who even
And
cares?
11, that is a huge success.
because turns out Bobby's just really is a sellout.
Yeah, for real. If you had failed that, I was gonna have people commenting like plant psyop.
Oh, dude, that would have been the worst.
Just But no, you are racking up followers on this. Notably, you discover that your old friend Penelope follows this new account, and she's like sharing all over the stuff. Her like dumb artist friend who you went to the gallery opening, I think his name was just Trevor, if I remember correctly. He's following and like heart reacting all of your stuff. Yeah, you are building up like a real following and audience under this fake Instagram handle. Very good. Let's hop back over to Dale real quick. Dale, you got something else?
Remind me, what's the name of the Fae dude that hangs out at the pinball museum?
Root,
that's right. Would you consider Root a contact?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I would like to consult my contact, Root.
And what are you trying to consult about?
We'll see that after I roll.
Okay.
Because how I roll depends on what questions I can ask. I basically want to find out more information on the pastor, reverend, father, whatever of the mega church.
Oh, yeah. Pastor LJ.
Yes, so I want to find out stuff about Pastor LJ.
LJ Jr.
Fucking dick.
Go ahead and if you are consulting with Root, you're gonna roll with Wild. But keep in mind his information is going to be, limited to what his people know about that.
Now that I'm looking at my character sheet, I might want to talk to a different guy about it, but let's just go with it.
Nice, dude.
Because they were there too. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, that's true. The Fae were with you in the House of Good News. So
yes, and I have a -1 in Wild, but here goes nothing. A 10.
It would be an 11 because it's your status, not your.
Oh, it's my status, not my score.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then never mind. It's an 11.
I mean, a 10 or an 11 are the same thing.
It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, so you can ask 2 questions of Root, and they will answer honestly about what the Fae know.
I want to know what Pastor LJ has been up to recently.
Pastor LJ has been up to a few things recently. Obviously, the first is repairing some of the damage to the House of Good News, which the news has reported of just like vandals broke in and were doing pranks in the middle of the night. And he put a lot of spin on that about how the faith,
devils have taken these teenagers.
Yeah, the faith is under attack and blah, blah, blah. So he's been doing that. But behind the scenes, you hear that Pastor LJ has been rallying some of his own allies and making some behind the scenes power plays. You're hearing that, and this is all like, you didn't hear this from me rumors, but that there might be some internal struggles going on with the powers that be, and wizards from across the city, whether or not they're members of the powers that be, are preparing for potential changes in leadership. And that Pastor LJ has taken interest in this.
Interesting. I guess that kind of answers what conflict is everyone talking about, unless there's another conflict that everyone's talking about.
Sorry, I was actually misreading consult your contacts. You get to ask 3 questions on a success regardless. The 2 that you get is you were going to hold 2 for the foreseeable future, Tyler. So make a note of that somewhere. And that you were going to be able to spend that 2 hold 1 for 1 to take a 10 plus instead of rolling when the information you gained by asking these 3 questions would aid you on a move.
Ooh, that's good.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you've got 2 more questions.
Right. Who has a debt on Pastor LJ?
Not a lot of people. He's very careful about that. You have heard that Moose Calhoun has a debt on Pastor LJ. And also, I'll tell you one other person has a debt on Pastor LJ. That person being Adrian of the Powers That Be.
That's been insightful. What conflict is everyone talking about?
I sort of already answered that, so I'll give you a little bit more information.
Sure.
It sounds like there's going to be a special election within the Powers That Be. That someone has challenged Nigel as head of that faction, and the way that faction operates is its members are going to vote for who should be leader. But that election probably won't be for another couple of months.
Okay, like a vote of no confidence kind of deal?
Kind of, basically.
Yeah, except it's not going to happen probably because,
Would they know who the other... Who challenged this? Who?
The Fae don't know. They are not kept that in the loop about the inner politics of that power faction.
Right. Okay. I guess that works. We got some leads there.
That's some leads. How about Ezra? One more thing that you are doing during this downtime period.
I guess I got to go look for my sister.
So there's that. There was also Azrael told you to do something which you have not spent any time doing. So
oh god damn it, Azrael! If this is you, fine.
I've really put you in a tough position here, as is my right as the master of ceremonies.
What did Azrael want me to do again? I can't remember.
He wanted you to stop Hector from dealing sand.
Oh, that's right.
And to not let Bobby know about that.
Okay. All right. Shit. Okay. Well, I'm going to, then here's what I'll do. I'll be a responsible brother and I will text my sister and ask her, hey, what's up? And then I'll go and start working on that Azrael thing.
You get no response from the text.
Yeah, I figured. I'm going to start working on that Azrael thing and see how quickly I can do it before. I don't really have a choice here. Oh, fuck. All right, fine. I'll go look for my sister.
Okay. You
What?
are not doing Azrael's thing as you go look for your sister.
I have to.
You could just do that. Whatever, dude. You do.
He
you.
has to.
Yeah.
I thought
Dom,
it'd
you're a
be cool
monster.
if he did something. But whatever.
I gave you a chance here, Zach.
I know you
never
did.
Once
You're-
done a thing. Your patron.
You're gonna get your sister killed. Why are you just? She's fine. She's not even dying.
You don't know that.
Maybe
Did she get kidnapped?
To...
I thought she was just working.
Maybe she's gotten into a bad sand habit and I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Okay. I'm just saying, like.
She's not at work, Dom. You that's the thing.
Oh.
She's not
Yeah,
been
she
showing
stopped
up.
showing
Oh,
up to
well,
work.
she's been kidnapped by Azrael then.
Yeah, well,
Right?
maybe.
Okay, you do you. That's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll with spirit for me.
All right. Spirit. Gosh, all right. You guys have got 11s all across the board here, so I better get something good. Fuck. I rolled a 4. Surely there's some secret hero point mechanic here.
Yeah, how's it feel?
I've gotten a lot of bad ones during this break.
So we're going to say that this is happening like the day of Bobby seeing the news broadcast about Nigel.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
You have been searching high and low for your sister Cassie. She's not been responding to any of your messages. You've been ignoring anything that you hear from Azrael trying to get in touch with you. But you are eventually able to, eventually get some information from the crew on the TV show that Cassie was staying at a hotel that was being paid for by the studio, that, the out of town crew were staying at. You get a room number, you get, all the information you need. You are able to break into Cassie's hotel room finally, after hunting all this information down. The hotel room is trashed. It looks like staff have not been coming in to clean up. In fact, there was like a do not disturb sign hanging on the door of the room. There's no sign of Cassie here. You don't think that anyone has been in here for quite some time, probably weeks. Everything is cold. Everything is covered in a layer of dust. And carved into the wall, you had one job.
Fuck. All right. Well, yeah, I'm probably gonna just, I don't know, break the bed in half with my sword real quick and then leave.
Yeah. And I think that is the perfect scene for us to wrap up on as we finish our 2 months, of downtime. Let's just say that you guys are all regrouping, probably for the first time in a little while. Even though you all live together, you haven't been spending a ton of time together. You're sharing this information. You're sharing what you've been up to. Is anybody keeping anything secret from the rest of the group? I want to give you guys the opportunity to say that, if so.
Not telling anyone about my viral marketing campaign or the sword that I bought.
Ezra would be way into the sword.
It's none of your business. It's my secret project. I know. It's just a secret project. He can't know about the sword.
Okay, well, if he finds the sword.
That makes sense.
Dale gets very excited to be with his friends again and tells them everything. He's just happy to have people to talk to.
Yeah, because Dale, you have not gotten in touch with your family or Hannah or anybody in the past 2 months, have you?
Nope.
Yeah, so you have gotten a lot of concerned calls and texts over the first, several weeks, and then those kind of tapered off a little bit.
Definitely got fired.
I don't know if I got fired. I'm pretty sure I went into work a couple times.
Did you show up to your job at all, or were you too afraid of the feds?
Yeah, I've probably gotten fired.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So you guys are all together. What is the plan? What do you guys do? You guys tell me.
We need to do something. My sister got kidnapped by demons.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, we probably should have led on that. Sorry, I just really, I was interested in how your time's been going, Dale. I wanted to let you finish your story.
Well, I appreciate that.
Oh, I mean, did we want to... So, Chris, I guess you don't know who killed Nigel, huh?
Yeah, well, see, the thing about Nigel is that he's dead. Definitely.
No, fair. All right.
But it could be related. I say we split up and search for clues.
I think you're full of shit, but you know what? I'm not even going to argue with you right now because I got some shit to do. Anyway, if we're splitting up and searching for clues, then dibs on Dale.
I wanted to go with you anyway.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Dibs on Bobby.
Good. This works out great.
I needed muscle.
Break.
Okay, are we really? All right. I don't know where you guys are going.
Well, don't worry about us. You help out Cris. Cris has got some stuff she needs to do.
Okay.
Do you have a lock of your sister's hair?
Me? I mean, I don't normally keep locks of her hair. I could probably, get one from the hotel.
I mean, it's a pretty out there question, but like,
I just if you can find a lock of your sister's hair, I can probably help you find her. I gotta go.
All right,
got a
deal.
hairbrush in her
right now.
apartment. Or
Yeah, no,
house.
that's what I'm thinking. We could go back to the hotel room. But that's not the first place we're gonna go. Anyway, let's go.
Where are Dale and Ezra going?
To look for a drug dealer.
What?
So
Okay. Very good. We'll get to you in a moment. How about Cris and Bobby? What's the plan?
I wanna. Does it say where Nigel died, or is it just that he was found dead?
He was found dead in his home, which you would know is in a penthouse apartment downtown.
Yeah, I want to go to his apartment.
Yeah, so you and Bobby head to, a very tall building downtown, like a high-rise apartment building, not on the strip, but close by the strip. Did you want Adrian to meet you there? I know you had wanted to talk to her about this.
I don't think so. I think I want to just investigate while there.
Okay. And what about Celeste? Because she was staying with Nigel.
I'm just gonna message her, ask if she's okay, and if where she is.
Very good. You do not get a response from Celeste.
I try calling her.
The phone just goes to voicemail.
Then I would try a tracking spell.
Yeah, if you try a tracking spell, you sense that she is at a local police precinct.
Cool. She got in trouble.
Yeah, do we want to just check out and see if she needs to get bailed out?
Yeah, we gotta go there first.
Celeste is the least likely one of our NPCs to get arrested.
You would have thought, but
No, she's hitting her rebel streak. This is great.
So Celeste and Bobby, you guys head down to the police station. You ask the
Cris and Bobby.
Yes, Cris and Bobby. You head down to the local police station. You ask the front desk about Celeste, and they tell you that she is in holding as a person of interest in a recent murder. That she was living with the victim, so they brought her in to ask some questions because she was being uncooperative at the scene.
Celeste did it.
Okay, well, like, she's just being held. She's getting an attorney, right? What's going on?
She's not been charged with anything yet, but she has been brought to the station and is being, kept in holding for as long as they are legally allowed to do so without charging.
I mean, do you think she could have done it? Like, don't say here, but like, that's crazy.
No, I don't. All right. Well, I would like to speak to her. I am her lawyer.
Nice.
Let me speak with my client.
You are trying to mislead, distract, or trick. That's what you're trying to do here. Go ahead and give me a roll with mind to see how well you are able to trick the local cops.
That's a 6. You wanna help me?
Oh yeah, can I assist? I want to help.
So Cris says that she's Celeste's lawyer. You can tell that the clerk at the desk is not quite buying it. How are you going to try and lend a hand here, Bobby?
Okay, so my gut is saying that I am also her client, and I express that as an artist, as an official artist person. I am her client. She is clearly an actual attorney. It would be ridiculous to suggest otherwise.
Why are you coming in if you're not?
Yeah, I know, but I was thinking like, oh, I could look all official. And it's like, you know what? No, that's canonically Bobby does not dress that kind of way. And the only reason I would be hanging out with someone that looks like this is because they were my attorney. I just think it's the only logical thing.
That's the only reason you'd be at a police station right now.
Very good. Let's see if that convinces the police that Cris is actually an attorney. Give me a roll with power because you are trying to help Cris the wizard.
That's a 7.
That is a 7, which means that you are able to give Cris a +1 on her roll, which does that make it a 7 then?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. But Bobby, you do expose yourself to danger, entanglement, or cost. I think that there's like a beat cop here who like sort of recognizes you from doing graffiti that you ran away from recently while you were out doing that, but you can tell like he's starting to put the pieces together and realize that like, wait, that is that guy I ran after the other night.
No, that's crazy. I'm with my attorney right now. Okay, sir, excuse me.
Excuse me, sir. My name is Officer Gloria. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
Oh, sorry, I'm not permitted to. I'm actually with my attorney. I'm not permitted to talk to you right now.
This guy is really insistent about it. So the question is, are you going to try and blow him off, or are you going to like let Cris do what she's got to do while you deal with this guy?
Yeah, I can leave. Wait, Cris, do you need me in there?
No, I don't. You are my client. I am the lawyer. I do not need you in there in that.
Obviously not. That would be weird. But like, just give me a signal.
I'll howl.
Okay, I got you.
So Officer Gloria doesn't like arrest you, doesn't take you to a holding cell, but he brings you like over to his desk, and he's asking you some hard questions about where you were the other night and all that good stuff. And Cris, you are led by the desk sergeant to the holding cell area, where you see Celeste is sitting in the central holding cell, with, several other people, mostly drunks, it seems. And she seems like totally catatonic, just totally spaced out until you get close to the cell and she realizes that you're there, and you see like the color return to her skin. You see like life returns to her eyes as she takes like a tentative step towards you. Cris.
Hey, sweetie, what the hell happened? Is everything all right? Are you okay?
Nigel is dead, Cris.
I heard, but are you okay?
I'm
What happened?
I'm okay. I was in my room in his penthouse, and I was just listening to music that that old iPod you gave me. And I thought I heard something, and so I took my headphones out, and that's when I realized that Nigel was like groaning in pain. And so I ran out to the living room, and I saw him there on the floor. Cris, there was so much blood. I don't know what happened. I don't know who did it. I just ran over, and he was dying, and he told me to call the police, and so I did. I did. And when they came, they asked me what happened, and I guess I had some of his blood on me from when I was checking on him, and they thought I did it, and I didn't know how to answer their questions, and so they brought me here. They think I did it.
So it's gonna be okay. You didn't do it, and they will all soon know that. They're just taking extra precautions. Don't even worry about it, okay? I'll get you out of here.
They keep asking me what happened over and over again, and I keep telling them, but they just keep pushing.
It's okay. Just relax. Don't worry about anything. I'll take care of it. We'll figure out what happened to Nigel, and you'll be safe with me again.
They asked me, what our relationship was, and I told them I was living with him, and they asked if we ever fought, and I don't know why, but I told the truth. I said yes. I said we fought a lot, that I wasn't happy there, and I was just trying to tell the truth.
Hey, it's gonna be okay.
You never talk to cops.
I mean, you can't trust cops, and so we should work on your truth telling, but also...
Nobody ever taught me that before. I've been very sheltered. I thought the police were good guys.
I thought you saw the ACAB poster. My bad.
I didn't know what that stood for. No one explained it to me. I thought it was an advertisement for taxis.
Hailing a cab. Yeah, I see it.
We will work on that when you come back home, and we will get some extra lessons for you.
I got some Rage Against the Machine albums you can listen to.
Dale will have a talk with you. All right. Fuck. That is not good. I'm not overwhelmed. I am doing great in this situation.
You do get the sense, Cris, that Celeste will. You would know that the cops can only hold her for so long without charging. And the fact that they haven't charged her yet probably means that they don't have enough to make a case against her. So, she'll probably be allowed out by like the end of the day. But yeah, she's scared. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't want you to leave.
Yeah, I think Cris just kind of consoles her and tries to get her to calm down as much as possible until she gets kicked out. And then to Nigel's.
Okay. Bobby, you are eventually allowed to leave by Officer Gloria. You get the sense that he's going to keep an eye on you.
You might be getting a citation in the mail if he could get the CCTV footage.
He's on the case. He's on the case of this new graffiti that's been popped up. Just wait for the Officer Gloria, Agent Arizona team up.
Whatever you do, don't spray paint any Teslas. You'll be a domestic terrorist.
Oh god.
Yo, I saw a Cybertruck like parked on my street the other day. It was crazy.
They're so
cool
gross.
You're only look, here in good old Pennsylvania, like Teslas are becoming like the most fucking popular vehicle. It seems like they're everywhere now.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few, and they're ugly. They're so gross in person.
They are ugly and gross, but in a way that like kind of delights me. It's like seeing a zoo animal like on the loose. Ezra and Dale, you guys are looking for a drug dealer. Is that my understanding?
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you this. Just any drug dealer, specifically a sand dealer, you know, what's your angle here? What are you trying to accomplish?
Priorities: Hector, sand dealer, any drug dealer.
I mean, if you were looking for him specifically, you would know. I would think Bobby would have mentioned him enough that you would know, like, the marketing firm that he works at. You want to go to his office?
Yeah, you know, maybe not his office, but the parking lot of the firm where I meet him sitting in the back seat of his Lexus.
Oh man, I actually like super love that. I'm not gonna make
And then
you...
Dale pops up. Man, we've been hiding here for hours, and I'm here too.
I'm not gonna make you roll for that. You are in the back seat of a Cybertruck.
Nice.
Yep.
As the door opens and Hector, a Latino man, looks exactly like the image that Azrael showed you. Expensive band t-shirt, blazer, steps into the Cybertruck, whistling a tune as he turns it on, doesn't even notice the two of you in the back seat.
Just remind me, my mission was very explicitly to kill this guy, right?
It was to get him to stop dealing sand.
Okay, good. This is easier then. It's at least more morally doable.
I mean,
we're gonna
you can
try.
take that mission however many ways you want to. That's what Ezra has told you.
We've got a flow chart of options. So yeah, anyway, we'll wait for him to turn it on. I assume he's blasting some kind of music.
Yeah. What would Hector be playing? I feel like classic rock. Like Tyler, do a quick roll up a sound alike for Carry On My Wayward Son. Doody da ba ba boo bo.
Oh, I love this song. Oh. And I just start whistling along to it behind him.
And yeah, he's like bobbing his head to the music. And even when you start whistling, it takes him like 2 seconds to realize, wait, that's not the radio. And he looks up to his rear view mirror and his eyes go wide in the reflection.
Hey, Hector.
Ha!
How's it going, buddy?
And just to be clear, you're in your human form, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're still higher up on the flow chart.
Yeah. Who the fuck are you guys?
I'm just, a buddy of some powerful people. And they sent me along to deliver you a little message. And by message, I mean instructions. So here's the deal, Hector. I know you've got a little side gig going on, and it's ruffling some feathers.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. How about you just get out of my car and no problem, no problem. You know.
Look, how about this? Unless you want to see what happens when I shove this sword up your weird electric PlayStation 1 lookalike truck's battery port, because it might blow up. I've heard they blow up.
Battery fires are serious business, Hector. They're very difficult to put out.
And if you don't think I could do it, trust me, I'm really strong.
And I'm really knowledgeable about automobiles. I tow them. The perfect duo.
It really is.
Nice.
For the perfect task.
That is absolutely trying to persuade an NPC with threats. So go ahead and roll with heart for me.
You want me to roll it?
I would allow either of you to roll it. That was a joint threat.
Let's go. 7.
Okay. So 7, they see your point and do as you ask, but they counter your offer or demand payment, a debt, a favor, or resources before agreeing to follow through.
So here's the deal, Hector. I need you to never sell sand again, or I'm gonna have to kill you.
Okay. Listen. No, there's no need for violence. I'm a very reasonable guy. Okay, I don't need to sell sand. It's just like a supplemental thing I got going on. A guy asked me to do it. I can back out of that. Okay, but you know. There's some complications, all right? You know?
What kind of complications? Is it as big of a complication as what would happen if I did what we discussed earlier?
Listen, you rolled a 7, okay? I get to make a counteroffer.
I know.
I'm not even doing this like for the money. Like, yeah, sure. I've had some extra pocket change, but that's not.
Why are you doing it?
See, I'm a marketing guy. Okay. I work with artists. I got this client who he wanted me to do this for him in exchange for working for me. And the guy's got the stuff. Okay. He people like his stuff. And so I was like, if this means you'll be a client for me, then sure. I've done weirder things to get people to sign a contract, you know?
All right. Well, what kind of fucking artist needs you to sell drugs for him? That seems kind of weird.
It is weird. Okay. If it wasn't better for my actual business, like I wouldn't be doing it, but
well, I guess it turns out it really wasn't better for your actual business, huh? Anyway, go on.
If I stop selling, I lose my client. If I lose my client, I'm out on my ass, okay? So, you got to make it worth my while here. And before you just threaten me again, that's not going to work because you rolled a 7. Okay. I need you to agree to help me out here for this to be a two-way street in order for me to agree to stop this. So what do I get out of stopping this?
What do you want? I mean, I'm really good at this line of work.
And I'm good at this. I slap the armrest of the truck.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah. Okay. I'll stop selling sand if maybe you give me your number and I ever need somebody to stop doing something. Maybe you can make them stop doing something too. Okay, you know.
Oh yeah.
Business for you down the line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think we could work with that.
And he lets out a deep sigh. And he's like, okay, sand, stopping. No more. I wash my hands of it.
All right, great. Good to hear, Hector. And just so you know, if I catch any wind, remember, sword, battery port. I really think it'll explode.
It will.
Especially with my sword, because see, my sword lights on fire.
I mean, if I hit the curb funny, this thing's gonna explode. So like, you don't need to convince me. You taking your sword is gonna do it. I believe you.
Well, if you're in the market for a real truck, I'm selling one. You might get pulled over a time or two.
I spent so much money on this thing. It was so expensive.
And now you can't trade it in. Sucks
and
to
like
be you.
I legally can't sell it. Like there's something in the contract of buying a Cybertruck that you can't sell or trade it in. I'm pretty sure that's true.
That's crazy. And sounds like a scam.
It does, doesn't it?
Oh, weird. Okay. Turns out they used glue to put it all together.
I cannot take this thing to the car wash. It will stop working if it gets wet.
Or too cold, I hear.
This was the worst decision of my life.
Well, let's make sure it stays the worst decision of your life instead of selling sand again. Am I right, buddy? Anyway, here's my number. If you need me to scare anybody, I'll probably do it for you unless it's a really, really bad decision, and then I'll tell you why.
Very good. So Hector agrees to stop selling sand in exchange for a debt. As you two hop out of the Cybertruck, what is the plan? Like you did this thing that you were asked to do 2 months ago. Now what?
Man, that really didn't take that long. I should have done this forever ago. I could have taken just an afternoon off one day. Well, okay. Next hotel room.
Back to Cassie's hotel room?
Yes.
Very good. So we'll be back to you guys in a moment. Bobby and Cris, you guys are heading over to Nigel's?
Yes. I would like to investigate the scene of the crime.
Yeah, so when you head over to the apartment building, there is absolutely a police presence there. How do you think you're gonna access the crime scene?
I would like to use my corruption ability to turn into so it's called Street Hound. And I mark corruption to transform into a coyote or a dog. And while in this form, I can roll with spirit instead of mind to mislead or distract. So I want to turn into a dog and distract the cops.
Okay.
That is my plan.
First off, what does Dog Bobby look like? Like a cross between like a husky and like an Irish wolf dog, but it's got like floppy ears, something like that. Very good. And how do you think you are going to distract the police as this dog?
I think I'll be the cutest, most awesome dog ever, and they want to go pet the dog. They want to go hang out with the dog, obviously.
Full on like seducing the police into
I mean, that's a weird way to put it, but yeah, sure.
I'm tempted to make you roll persuade an NPC instead of mislead, because that's what it sounds like you're doing.
Oh my goodness.
I was really nice to Zach and Tyler in that last scene by just letting them be in the car. So I won't be mean to you now. Yeah, you mark corruption as you transform into the dog, and you can, what you said, roll with spirit for mislead.
Yes. That's a 9.
9. Wow.
So as you start tricking and distracting the police by just being a real cute dog, and they're like, oh, hey there, buddy. Hey. You are able to do 2 of the following: create an opportunity, expose a weakness or flaw, confuse them for some time, or avoid further entanglement. To create an opening for Cris, which of those 2 things do you want to do?
So create an opening, obviously.
Yeah.
I want to do that. And I think just avoid further entanglement so things don't get too serious over here. Just keeping it chill. Keeping it chill.
Keeping it chill.
No one's going to try to adopt me or something.
Very good, which gives Cris the chance to sneak into the apartment building, hop on the elevator, and take it up to the penthouse, which opens up into Nigel's apartment. I'll say there's no police currently inside. You probably don't have a ton of time in here before police presence returns to the actual site, but you've got a moment for now. You have to like duck under some police tape that is blocking off the the elevator, but that's easy enough to do. You see Nigel's body has been moved. You don't see his corpse here, but you do see a quite large blood stain that is in the middle of the living room, sort of right beside a very nice white leather couch. There's no blood on the couch, though. It is like entirely contained to the floor. You see that there's like those little signs that are all over the place, which are like numbered, that the police left at like different spots to indicate like possible clues or evidence or whatever. What is Chris's plan here? What does she want to investigate?
Cris is trying to figure out what kind of important circle business would the cops not realize to grab and take out of here. I feel like this is the perfect time to study a place of power. Try to grasp any knowledge I have on the powers that be.
Very good. So not necessarily investigating the crime scene, but trying to find whatever faction resources might be hidden away in here.
Yes.
Very interesting. I like that a lot, Cris. So if you are investigating a place of power, you are going to roll with your power rating.
And I rolled an 8.
An 8. On a hit, you see below the surface to the reality underneath. So you are able to find an area, NPC, or item located within that is not what it seems. I think that's gotta be an item in here. And I think the item that is not what it seems within Nigel's penthouse.
A staff or a wand?
A staff. Yeah, you find a staff. It looks at first like it is the sort of the rod that curtains are hanging on, but you realize that is illusory.
Cool.
And that it is actually a gnarled, obsidian staff. And when you reach up to grab it, that rainbow aurora borealis magic that you absorbed reacts. There's a spark of this big multicolored magical energy that static electricity discharges from you as you touch this staff. You maybe recoil for a second, but you realize you're fine, and you are able to pull the staff out from where it is held in place. And that this is an item of significant importance to the powers that be that Nigel was keeping.
Chris found a new weapon.
Gross. This will go perfect with my Eldritch Blast.
This is a staff that, not only is it inherently magical and, allows you to channel your spell casting, like the way that you do with the crystals that you carry, Chris. But it is also a implement of symbolic power, of soft power, you might say, within the powers that be. But not because it is something that is meant to be held by the head of the powers that be. Do you know what an anti-pope is?
No.
An evil pope?
Not quite evil pope.
A more evil pope?
not quite. It is the term anti-pope. It refers to somebody who claims to be the true pope.
Oh, okay. Got you. Oh, that's fun.
That this is an implement that was once owned by a former member of the powers that be, that long ago tried to claim ownership, tried to proclaim themselves the leader of the powers that be, in a way that the rest of the faction would claim is illegitimate. And that this is an item that was believed to have been lost to time.
I'm going to take that staff, pocket it. If I can't pocket it, turn it into an item that I can reasonably carry out with illusory magic.
Very good. And as you are doing that, I think what crosses your mind, if I haven't emphasized this enough already, is that this is something that absolutely should not have been here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is definitely at the top of my mind right now.
And I think you have also found the first capital C clue in the mystery of who killed Nigel. But you'll have to find out more about that on the next episode of Escape the Dungeon. Thank you for listening to Escape the Dungeon. Escape the Dungeon is created by Dom Brass, Nate Brass, Zach Brass, and Mike Cripps, with editing and original music by Tyler Knittle. If you enjoyed this show, please consider subscribing and leaving a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. To find us on social media, go to escapethedungeonpod.com.